hesitant to talk about how old money dresses because has anyone else noticed it's kind of become trendy at the moment? If you are new here, you may not know that I have been creating a whole series all about old money, where they live, how they dress, where they educate, where they shop, etc. And today we are going to dive deeper into the topic about how they dress and how to have a old money aesthetic. But first, I think it is important to go back, do a little bit of a review from the Old Money book and see what they say about how old money actually dresses.
Nothing tells others more about you than the way that you dress. You can deride that statement as a symptom of a superficial world, but that doesn't change the fact that it is true. Clothes protect us from the elements and prevent us from being arrested for public indecency. They are also a means of expression. Your profession, your aspirations, your background, your self-image, all of this and more are expressed to others by your clothes. Others will, upon first encountering you, take a visual inventory of your appearance and consciously or subconsciously assign certain personality traits and values to you, whether you possess them or not. This will work to your advantage or disadvantage, depending on the way that you dress. Therefore, to understand old money, you must understand how it dresses and why. For old money, what is worn is almost without exception what is appropriate to wear for a particular occasion, what looks good, what is comfortable, and what is classic and timeless. Clothing is generally not worn to call attention to oneself. Discretion is paramount. Fashion is to be avoided like the plague, and classic styles in natural fabrics form a roster of reliable, quality garments that constitute the majority of an old money wardrobe. Value, comfort, and quality are the watchwords here.
But here's the thing that I've also noticed by connecting with so many of you in the comment section or over on Instagram. Many of us that are intrigued and interested in this series aren't old money. And with that, often we don't have the full budget to go behind this and spend £1 million or $1 million in Ralph Lauren, Bronner Brothers, or whatever old money shop you have heard that is the place to shop. So I thought we can look at how we can do this on a budget because I think that it will help a lot of you. And I think the other thing that it's really important to understand, sometimes we go through seasons of life where we have a little bit more budget, but I think that there's other seasons of life where we don't. And I think that if we understand some of the way that old money dresses, even if we do have to take it down a notch in the quality department, unfortunately, I think that we can still apply a look that is going to give us a overall old money look. Now, what is an old money look? I think an old money look is a traditional and timeless look. It's not going to look dated when you adopt these traditional and timeless rules to the way that you are adorning yourself. Obviously, people know that when you are looking to buy a higher quality item, you're going to want to wear natural fibers, things that are well made. But again, often when we take things down a notch, if we are in a place where we are maybe not having the biggest budget to put towards our wardrobe, these are going to be some of the areas that you might have to compromise on. But before I jump into the tips, I want to just quickly put this disclaimer out there because the thing is that we are not looking on this channel, I hope this is one thing that I'm getting across, is that we're not just looking to look the old money part, we are looking to take the best characteristics, the best values from this society and implement them in our lives so we can do better. So I do want to preface this video by saying we can take certain things from this video and make it look like we are old money, but in the background, we are going to be acquiring the skills and the core values that is going to allow us to go and get the higher quality items, the natural fibers, etc. in future. So here are some of the tips that I follow when I am going out shopping and looking to acquire a old money aesthetic, even though I might be on a little bit of a budget. So tip number 1, old money dresses in a low-key way.
So, what do I mean a low-key way? Well, let's just take this tweed example. I've got 3 photos for you on the screen. All 3 of them are wearing a version of tweed. Now, obviously, this is going to be something that is subject to what you personally like, but I think we can look at all 3 of these examples and see that one of them looks a little bit more sophisticated, one of them looks a little bit more understated, and one of them looks a little bit more put together. And remember what we just went over? We went over the fact that old money will do things in an understated way. They're not trying to bring attention to themselves, but they're wanting to look put together and they're wanting to look chic. I think there's a quote in the first Old Money book that we reviewed, and it says something like, "It will take people a few minutes to realize that someone that is old money or dressing in an old money way is well dressed, because they're not going to be flashy with logos, they're not going to be flashy with pearls and scarves and mitts and big hair. It's going to be in an understated way." So if you look at the first outfit on the far left, it is a tweed outfit, but be it that it's a monochromatic look, it is coming off in a classier, more understated way. Whereas the gloves in the second picture, the accessories, the somewhat teased hair, and then the piping on the outfits is just causing a little bit too much attention. I think if the 2 models in the photo weren't wearing the gloves and the accessories, they could get away with the piping on the tweed outfits, but I just think as a whole, the whole ensemble makes it a little bit too attention grabbing. And then if we moved over to the last photo on the far right with the blue, I love that color of blue, but the silver and pearl buttons just makes it look cheap, and it makes it look like it was found in Forever 21. And you know what it looks like? It looks very Emily in Paris. And I think if Emily in Paris was your thing, then you are going to gravitate towards that look. However, it doesn't look the most sophisticated, but this is why I've kind of been shy to talk about old money, because I feel like a lot of people are gravitating towards the far right, when really old money is probably gravitating more towards the far left.
Tip number 2 is old money tends to dress in a traditional way.
So what do I mean by a traditional way? Well, through my research and my observations, I've noticed that there are a few design elements that will come up ever so often when I am looking at how old money dresses. And when I'm talking about how old money dresses, I don't just mean, what we are seeing on Pinterest, because if you go look that up, or even on Instagram or TikTok, we can often see old money outfits, but they're not very practical to wear out and about in the real world. So, things like wearing blazers draped over the shoulders, I think that's very nice to look at in a photo, but I don't think it's very practical to be walking down the streets with jackets draped over your shoulders. So what are the design elements that you can see recurring in a lot of old money outfits? Well, one of the first things I've noticed is stripes, whether that be horizontal stripes like we're seeing in the left picture, or vertical stripes like we can often see in blue and white striped dresses or linen shirts, Breton shirts, etc. Stripes are always going to be something that is classic, and you can have fun with this. You can wear it something sleeveless like it is being displayed for us in the first photo in a all cream outfit that looks super chic. Or it can be a blue and white striped dress. I did put a photo of this over on the community tab recently of one of the new dresses I welcomed into my home. This will always look chic, and I think it's also why we can often see many old money outfits kind of gear more towards a nautical vibe. Now, the next thing that I've noticed is pleating on dresses or French-inspired items. I think this is why we can notice that every few years, it's almost like there is a it word or a buzzword, but when it comes to style. So a few years ago, everybody was obsessed with looking Parisian style. And I think that is because Parisian style can often come across as so classic and timeless. And so if we look at the second photo, the photo in the middle, you can see that it's got a little bit of a Parisian vibe, and then it's got some pleating down towards where the skirt is, and then there is a very feminine and chic tassel that is tied in the middle. This looks so elegant and so timeless, and really can give you a old money vibe and something that is wearable. And in the last photo, I think for me, when I think traditional, this is what comes to mind at most. This kind of equestrian, preppy vibe. Now, again, somebody might not really gear more towards a equestrian kind of look, or someone might not really favor towards a preppy look. But I think you can definitely take elements of both of those styles and implement them into your wardrobe, especially if you are looking to acquire a old money aesthetic. This is when we are going to layer our dress shirts and our sweaters over top, and maybe look at the type of footwear. Maybe you are wearing more boots. I have a lovely pair of duo boots that gives me this vibe, so I can and really play a part of this aesthetic, but it's not really giving me horseback riding vibes, because I think for me, if I started dressing like that, I would feel a little bit like I am in costume and not being true to my own self.
And then tip number 3 is old money is groomed. Think steamed, polished, and clean. Now, I think if you follow those 3 quick, simple, easy tips, you can go to any shop that fits within your budget and look out for these items, and then you'll be able to present yourself. You'll be able to put together an ensemble, which if you saw the last video, you know what I mean by that. You can have a team that is going to work together, that is going to give you a old money look. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you a video where I completely budget shopped in the cheapest way possible to give me a old money aesthetic. I hope you will subscribe so you can see that video the minute that it goes live. It's gonna be a good one. Bye.